Hello, I am Shanna Pizer of Shanna Pizer Coaching at Coach Shanna P on all the socials. I am recording this video today to um, document a little bit about the beginning of my journey into intermittent fasting. So I have been working on weight loss for a long time, and I discovered weight loss coaching, which has completely transformed my life. I lost a lot of weight, slowly gained a considerable amount of it back, and have been working on getting it back off. Um, Lots of transformation. I don't regret any of it. It's been an amazing journey. And I started getting frustrated, like, why am I having such a hard time with this again? I thought I had gotten past this. And I just knew there's something else. Like, there's something else that I need to learn that I haven't learned yet. And so I've been searching for that thing. And I think maybe I found it, or I'm on the way to finding it, or I've partially found it. I don't know. It might be some deeper spiritual lesson also that I need to learn, but I'm putting more tools in my tool belt as I go, and it has been incredible. So this past just in March, and right now it is July of 2024. So in March, I should have had these out. Just happen to have them right here though. I read this book right here, Why We Get Sick by Benjamin Bickman, which then led me to read The Obesity Code by Dr. Jason Fung. Ben Bickman, also a doctor. And I just believe that these two books may have changed my life. And so reading this book, then this book, has kind of gotten me on this quest for understanding more about intermittent fasting and how to use it effectively in the different ways that it's helpful. These books are incredible. I will have links to these books in the description of this video with my Amazon associate links if you want to use those to buy the books. I'm not going to get into the books. I might do a whole nother video, like a book study kind of thing, but that was the beginning of my journey in March. I had decided I was going to offer a spring reset weight loss group, a 6-week group. And I was kind of working on planning that out. And then I read these books, or it was kind of right around the same time. And as I'm reading these books, I'm like, I have to rethink what I'm doing. And so I introduced into the spring reset group, I introduced some intermittent fasting. And I said, when I put this group out there, I'm like, this is as much for me as it is for anybody else. So welcome to my journey. And I introduced the intermittent fasting as I understood it at the time, which has progressed as I have read and listened to more and more and more. And it's just been incredible. The intermittent fasting is fascinating to me. And it kind of cracks me up because people have been talking about this for years, right? It's nothing new. And it actually is literally nothing new because it's been done forever. And when I heard people talk about fasting and intermittent fasting, it kind of just went one ear, out the other. That's not for me. I'm doing this. And, bless you all who are fasting. That does not sound fun to me. So enter Mr. Benjamin Bickman and Jason Fung, and I am now consumed with intermittent fasting. Does intermittent fasting negate anything that I had done in the past since I found coaching, the weight loss coaching? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. For me, it's been a progression, and all that I've done to this point has led me here. And now this is the next step in my journey. And it just makes so much sense. It's amazing. Sorry, it's my afternoon coffee. Okay. So I I did the spring reset that started in April. To be honest, was getting a little bit frustrated because my weight was, I was doing, I had a great protocol. I was following my protocol pretty consistently, maybe not 100%, but pretty consistently. And I was weighing every day, and the weight would just like, it would go down a little bit and then pop back up and down a little bit, pop back up. And it was getting frustrated. And if you're watching this and you're in any of my accountability groups that I was talking in, you know what I'm talking about. And I put a Post-it note on my computer screen that says, I trust that the process is working. And I committed to that. And I was committed. I said in the beginning, I'm using myself as a science experiment to see what works and how it works and all of that good stuff. So I am committed. I was committed. I trust that the process is working. And I pressed on. We got to the end of the reset, and I don't really know how much I was down. At one point, I was down like 6 pounds. And then I kind of, again, like I said, I kind of bounced up and down. And when I started, I got on the scale, I was weighing every day for a while. Then I cut back to once a week. I did my measurements, my hip measurements, my hip measurement and my waist measurement, and then calculated my hip to waist ratio, which if for women, if you have over a 0.8 waist to hip ratio, and for men, if you have a 0.9 or higher waist to hip ratio, that is indicative of insulin resistance, which can lead to all kinds of maladies, including, like, the mother of all insulin resistant diseases is type 2 diabetes. And a whole gamut, which is in the book, Why We Get Sick, and in the obesity code. Obesity is also one of them. So the goal for me is to lose weight, to get down to a certain size, to reduce my waist to hip ratio to under that 0.8, and to get my body fat percentage down. Now, I have a scale that measures body fat percentage. It's an old scale, so I'm pretty sure it's not super accurate, but I'm thinking it's at least consistent. So I weighed, made notes of all of those measurements: weight, waist to hip ratio, and body fat percentage. And that's where I started in April 24th to be exact. And so, like I said, did the 6 weeks of the spring reset, and I've kept going. Like, this is what I'm doing right now. And again, a little bit frustrated that my results weren't stellar. I had some results, but they weren't what I was hoping for. And I have learned more as we've gone, why that is. I started off with a 16-8. So I would fast 16 hours a day, and I had an 8-hour window that I could eat. And I'm not going to get into all the specifics of intermittent fasting, because I will do that in the Reset weight loss group and in the Commit to You group coaching community, or if you want to work with me one-on-one. I would love to go through all of this with you and help you to nail down exactly what works for you. So I added in a weekly 24-hour fast towards the beginning of June. maybe like the second, beginning of June, I added in one day where I fasted so I fast from Sunday after dinner until dinner on Monday evening. So I added in that 24-hour fast. And that is what I've been doing up till this week. Let's see. I made notes of what the things that I want to touch on. Okay. So I had, decent results, not super stellar, decent results. And I went on a trip. I left home. My husband and I left home on June 14th, and we went to Washington to visit our kids and our grandbaby. And then my husband came home. I stayed there. Then I flew to Nashville, Tennessee the following week, drove to Knoxville, had an amazing time in Knoxville with an incredible group of ladies in a Christian coaching community that I'm in. And then drove to Norfolk, Virginia, to spend a little over a week with my son in the Navy. And then flew back home to Boise this past Monday. So I was gone for 24 days in 3 different states, in 3 completely different settings. And I had decided before my trip, I came up with this reminder for myself. Travel is part of my life, so I take my habits with me wherever I go. And that helped me with all my other tools that I have. Like, I have a lot of tools. I'm very intentional around this. I took my habits with me. I took them with me to Washington. I took them with me to Tennessee. I took them with me to Virginia, and I brought them back home with me. And the foundation of that is creating the habits in the first place. So I have been working on that as well. So, to my results. I flew home Monday. It was a whole travel day. I had 3 flights. It was a long day. And I decided to give myself a few days after I got home to rehydrate, lose any of the traveling inflammation, all of that stuff. So I weighed this morning and measured. Today's Friday, got home Friday night or Monday night. I did all this morning, and I was very hesitant and nervous to get on the scale. And I told my husband that, yes, before we went to bed last night, I was like, I'm getting on the scale tomorrow and I'm a little bit nervous. And so before I got on the scale this morning, I'm very intentional about most things. And I prayed, God, help me to accept whatever the scale says and remember that it changes nothing. Whatever that scale says is just a number. It's just a calculation of the Earth's gravitational pull to my body in this moment. And so I prayed, and then I reminded myself, I'm just weighing myself for curiosity. No matter what the number is, it doesn't change what I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to go eat because I'm disappointed. I'm not going to go eat because I'm celebrating if it's a really great number. This changes nothing. I will continue on the protocol that I've set and this path of learning that I'm on. So took a deep breath and got on the scale and was pleasantly surprised. I had lost, so since I left home on June 14th, I was down exactly 3 pounds. So excited about that. That was my goal. I wanted to lose weight while I was on this trip, my 3-leg trip. So just since I left for my trip, I was down 3 pounds, which yay. Then I looked at the bigger picture and I did my measurements and everything. Since that first weigh-in, when I started the intermittent fasting at the beginning of the spring reset on April 24th, I am down 10 pounds. My body fat percentage is down 3.7%, according to my old scale. My waist to hip ratio is down 4%. And so I felt really good about that. And that made me, um, I was really grateful for one, and proud of myself. I was really proud of myself for continuing to maintain my habits while I was traveling. And I want to also say that I was not perfect. I was pretty consistent and I have all the data. And this is why I love a good habit tracker. I keep all of this is how I track all of my data, and it tells me how consistently I'm doing my habits. And while I was gone, there were a lot of days that I had alcohol. I drank wine, had a vodka soda at dinner, whatever. There were quite a few days that I ate past the point of um, being satisfied. So I considered those days some overeats. There were a few days that I did not fast. There were a couple days, actually, I think maybe on my trip, there might have only been one day that I did not move my body. Um, and I'm doing no sugar, no flour, no alcohol. So there were quite a few days that between the three of those, I didn't follow my plan. All that to say, I did not do it perfectly. I ate dinner out most nights. I ate a lot of French fries. I had fish and chips a few times. I had burgers. Sometimes I ordered my burger with no bread. I would be just dependent on what I was feeling like, but I was not feeling deprived. I had dessert a few times. Um, so I was not depriving myself. I did not feel deprived. I did not feel like I was being restricted at all. I felt amazing. And I felt amazing coming home and seeing that it's not even a switch, it's like a shift. I have shifted into intermittent fasting while keeping most of the other things that I've been doing. And I just love the results. And I'm super excited to continue to learn more and more about how I can most effectively lose the rest of the weight that I want to lose and then maintain it and maintain my lifestyle and continue to get stronger and stronger and be even more and more active as time goes on. And there are specific within the intermittent fasting um, realm, or I guess whatever, there's a weight loss protocol, and that is true intermittent fasting where you have a little bit longer fasts. And then the maintenance is the time restricted eating, and that's really the you you have your eating window and your fasting window on a consistent basis. So that's like you fast for, what I have been doing is fast for 16 hours, have an 8 hour window of eating, which does not mean that you can eat for 8 hours. It means have a meal at that beginning of the window. And then for me, have a meal at the end of that window. And then you kind of fast in between that as well, because it's all about insulin and how often your body is requesting insulin to be sent down to move glucose out of your bloodstream, and how much insulin your body is saying send down, depending on how much glucose you are adding into your bloodstream. And that's, like I said, those are all the details of the intermittent fasting. Um, and I'm just super excited about it. And I wanted to share kind of the beginning of my journey here and put it out there. The Reset weight loss groups will be starting periodically. I'm going to put the link to my website in the description, and you can go to my website and get signed up for the upcoming Reset. I have a workshop that I do before the Reset. It'll be a workshop or a challenge And then you do that free, get all the information, and then you can join the Reset weight loss group that right now is 6 weeks long. Who knows what will happen in the future, or one-on-one weight loss coaching. And I think that's what I wanted to share. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. You can comment on this video. You can send me an email, hello@shannapeiser.com. You can message me on any of the, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever, TikTok. I'm on all of them. Message me, email me questions, get on the Reset waitlist or the workshop, and you can just respond to one of my emails that you get. I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share it with anybody that you think might find this information useful for them. And I thank you for being here. I appreciate your visiting my channel and watching this video, and I will have more updates as I learn more and as I learn more from books and podcasts and study, and as I learn more in my scientific experience with my own self. So I hope to do periodic updates of progress, and maybe sometimes it's not going to be progress. Maybe sometimes it's going to be a epic fail or a downward trend. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Join in on the journey by subscribing. Go get on the wait list for the next Reset workshop, and I hope to see you there.